Good evening. Today I will explain ninth grade exam for your April exam. Let's start with the first exam, task. In there we have -2 multiplied by 1.21 plus 3.6. Firstly, under root 1.21 equals 1.1. Because under root 121 equals 11, that's why 1.21 equals 1.1. Now, -2 multiplied by 1.1 plus 2.6, it equals -2.2 plus 3.6, and it equals 3.6 minus 2.2, and answer is 1.4. Let's continue with the second task. If 5 divided by x equals y divided by 10, find the product xy. We can write this expression like that. 5 multiplied by 10 equals x multiplied by y. Because we have a rule, a divided by b equals c over d. And a multiplied by d equals b multiplied by c. That's why x multiplied by y equals 50. Answer is B. Let's continue with the third task. The length of the sides of triangle are 10 cm, 12 cm, and 14 cm. Find the perimeter of triangle whose vertices are at the midpoints of sides of the given triangle. It's very important, midpoints of sides. Firstly, we have one triangle and we have three midpoints. This one, and this one. For example, let's create one triangle. If one side is 10 cm, another one is 12 cm, and the third one is 14 cm. Because its midpoint, it equals the half of this side. That's why it equals 5. Because midpoint equals the half of side. That's why this side also equals 12 divided by 2, 6. And this side equals 14 divided by 2, 7. And perimeter equals 7 plus 6 plus 5. And answer is 18. Let's continue with the fourth one. Solve the inequality. Let's write here, expanding this expression. 6 minus 3x plus 6 bigger than 8 minus x. This part equals 12 minus 3x bigger than 8 minus x. I can write a -3x in the right and 8 on the left. That's why 12 minus 8 bigger than 3x minus x and 4 bigger than 2x. And when we simplifying this inequality, 2 bigger than x. Answer is E. Let's continue with the fifth one. The set of divisors of 15 is integrated by A. That's why set A is 1, 3, 5, and 15. And set B is less than 12 and prime numbers. The prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. And it says that they said in question it say intersect. We can't see now, but it say intersect set, and it equals 3, 5. Let's continue with the sixth one. It says that express the expression x divided by b multiplied by a divided by x. We can simplify x easily, and answer is a divided by b. Variant is E. In seventh exercise, we must write them in same denominator. The same denominator for the 5, 15, and 10 is 30. We can write it like that. 4 multiplied by 6, divide 5 multiplied by 6, minus 1 divided by 1 multiplied by 2, 15 multiplied by 2, plus 7 multiplied by 3, divide 10 multiplied by 3, and it equals 24 over 30 minus 2 over 30 plus 21 over 30, and it equals 43 divided by 30. Answer is A. Let's continue with 8. It says that find the degree of measure of the arc MN in the circle of diameter MK. If the center angle is 36 degree, also MN equals 36 degree. Uh, this arc must be same angle with this angle. Answer is D. Let's continue with the ninth exercise. It says that the boat traveled 48 kilometers upstream and the same distance downstream, taking 5 hours to entire journey. Find the speed of the boat in still water if the speed of the river is 4 kilometers. Okay, let's say the speed of boat is x and speed of river is 4. If it goes with the upstream, the speed must be x minus 4. And when it goes with the downstream, the speed must be x plus 4. Let's write this equation like that. 48 divided by x minus 4 plus 48 divided by x plus 4 equals 5. Because total, it spends 5 hours for this entire journey. We can solve this equation with the two ways. First one, we can write the variance one by one and find answer. Or let's solve this equation. Firstly, we must write it with a common denominator. X minus 4 multiplied by x plus 4. And in numerator, 48 multiplied by x plus 4 plus 48 multiplied by x minus 4. And it equals 48x plus 48 multiplied by 4 plus 48x minus 48 multiplied by 4. We can simplify them, and that's why 96x divided by x squared minus 16 equals 5. And we can write it like that. 49x equals 5x squared minus 80. And the final x equation like that. 5x squared minus 49x minus 80 equals 0. For finding the roots, we can write it like that. 5x x, and we must find two numbers, which of them the multiplying of them is negative 80, and the sum of them when multiplying by 5x and x is negative 96. We can write it like that, 4 and negative 20. When we multiply 5x with negative 20, it equals negative 100 x, and when we multiply them, the answer is plus 4x, and the result is negative 96x. Let's continue. The final step is like that. 5x plus 4 multiplied by x minus 20 equals 0. The root in this bracket is negative, that's why we can't choose it, because speed never can be negative. And when we write x minus 20 equals 0, x must be 20 km per hour. Answer is B. I choose the second way for solving this equation, but you can write the variance one by one instead of x, and you can find answer easily. Let's continue with the exercise 10. I will write the solution to there. Firstly, for solving this equation, you must know that x must be different from 3 because there are denominator x minus 3 and denominator never can be 0. Let's multiply x minus 2 by 2 and x minus 2 by this equation. It equals 2x minus 6 plus x minus 3 multiplied by 1 divided by x minus 3. Let me write my x minus 3 equals 0. We can simplify them because firstly I write the condition x must be different from 3. When I write this condition, I can easily simplify x minus 3 and x minus 3. That's why the result equals 2x minus 7 equals 0 and x equals 3.5. Ah, okay. Sorry, 3x minus 5 equals 0 and x equals 2.5. You can think that we can equal both brackets by 0 and find answer. Yes, you can do it, but look very attentively there. If you write the first bracket x minus 3 equals 0, you will find x equals 3, but we can't write x equals 3 because the denominator will be 0 and uh, it can't be. Let's continue with exercise 11. How will the volume change if they reduce the sides of base of rectangular parallelepiped by 6 times and increase its height by 3 times? Volume equals A multiplied by B multiplied by C. When A 6 A increases by 6 decreases by 6 times and B increases by 6 times, volume must be increases by 36 times. We multiply 6 by 6 and it equals 36, and then the height decreases by 3 times. That's why we must divide 36 by 3 and it decreases 12 times. Answer is A. Let's continue with 12. It say EN is 2.5, CK is 7, KA is 2, and we must find ME. Firstly, KE equals 2 and KC equals 7. That's why EC equals 7 minus 2 equals 5. We have one rule there. KA multiplied by AC equals ME multiplied by EN. That's why 2 multiplied by 5 equals ME multiplied by EN equals 2.5, 2.5. And 10 equals ME multiplied by 2.5 and ME equals 4. The final result is 4. Let's continue with exercise 13. The firstly, uh, when we're finding LCM and GCD, we must write them like that. 2, 60, 2, 30, 2, 15, 3, 5, 5. And 72 like that. Divide by 2, 36, divide by 2, 18, divide by 2, 9, divide by 3, 3, divide by 3, 1. When we find LCM, we must write it like that. 120 multiplied by, they are same, uh, and this is different, 3. We must multiply it by 3 and answer is 360. And when we find GCD, we must multiply common factors. 2, 2, 2, and 3. 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. It equals 24. And the final result is 360 divided by 24. And our answer is 15. Mhm. Let's continue with Exercise 14. It says there are 13 boys and 12 girls in the class. Find the probability that a randomly select student is a boy. We have total 12 plus 13, 25 students, and 13 of them is a boy. That's why probability equals 13 divided by 25. Answer is B. Let's continue with 15. Factorize the square trinomial. 7x squared minus 12x minus 4. We can write it like that, 7x x and the negative 4 we must separate it by the two numbers, which of the multiplying of them equals negative 4, and when we cross multiply it by 7x and x, answer must be negative 12x. For example, let me check one of them, 2 and negative 2. Its correct answer, let's change it firstly. I write, for example, like that, negative 2 and 2. It likes that 7x multiplied by 2 minus 2x. It must be equals the middle of this quadratic equation. That's why this is incorrect. But if I change it, I do it negative. It equals 7x multiplied by negative 2, negative 14x plus 2x. It equals negative 12x. That's why I can factorize this square trinomial like that, 7x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 2. I repeat it again. The multiplying of them must be equals negative 4 and cross multiply of them must equal negative 12x. Let's continue with 16. When we sum these in simultaneous equations, these equations, it equals 4x plus 2x minus 3y plus 3y equals 24. We can simplify them. 6x equals 24 and x equals 4. Uh, and I can replace x with 2. It equals 2 multiplied by 4 plus 3y equals 14. That's why x equals 4 and y equals 2. And x minus y equals 4 minus 2. The result is 2. Okay, let's continue with 17. It says that find the ordinate of the vertex of the parabola. Firstly, note that the vertex of abscissa equals negative b divided by 2a, and the vertex of ordinate equals negative discriminant divided by 4a. I recognize you for finding the ordinate of the vertex. Firstly, find the vertex of abscissa, then replace the x with your answer and find ordinate of the vertex. Let me explain. Because it's more easy to find x than find ordinate of the vertex. I think that. Okay, x vertex of abscissa equals negative 6 because b equals 6. Let me write b equals 6, a equals negative 3, and c equals 5. It equals negative 6. 2 multiplied by negative 3 equals 1. Okay, let me write instead of x1, it equals negative 3 multiplied by 1 plus 6 plus 5, and answer is 8. We find both a abscissa of the vertex and ordinate of the vertex. The abscissa is 1 and the ordinate is 8. And their final result is 8. Let's continue with 18. It says if the length is 12 and diagonal is certain, find its width. Let me draw the one rectangle. The length equals 12, diagonal equals 13, and right there width A. For the Python theorems, A squared plus 12 squared equals 13 squared. A squared equals 13 squared minus 12 squared. It equals 25, and A equals 5, and the width of the rectangle equals 5. Let's continue with 19. Uh, A is 1, 3. Find the value of expression. Okay, firstly, can I write a squared plus 2ab plus b squared like that? A plus b squared. And it equals 5 3 over 7 plus 1 4 over 7. And it equals square. 5 plus 1 6, 3 over 7 plus 4 over 7 1, and it equals 7 square 49. And the second one, 3a plus 3b, it equals 3a plus b. Already we find a plus b equals 7. That's why it equals 3 multiplied by 7, 21. And the result is 9. 49 plus 21, it equals 70. Let's continue with the 20. Two identical pumps together empty half a full pool in 3 hours. Okay, if two pumps empty half of full pool in 3 hours. If two, okay, if two of them uh, empty, okay, empty half pool in 3 hours. Okay, if half empty in 3 hours, the all pool will empty in 6 hours. Because, for example, we have one pool. If the half empty in 3 hours, the other half also must be empty in 3 hours. That's why two pumps must empty it in 6 hours. And it says that how many hours will the pump empty 1/3 of the full pool? Okay, if two identical pumps empty it in 6 hours, one of them X, looks here very attentively, it's inverse proportion. Inverse proportion because one pump empty more slower. That's why it's inverse proportion. And it equals 2 multiplied by 6 equals 1 multiplied by x. X equals 12. And it's a empty 1/3 of the full pool. That's why the answer equals 12 multiplied by 1 over 3. And final answer is 4 hours. Because it empty full pool in 12 hours, but 1 over 3, we must multiply it 1 divided by 3. Let's continue with the 21. Look there very attentively. We have in 21, it says find the distance between points. Negative, it's not x1 by 1. It's just x because we have only semicolon. If it writes there x1 by 1, it must separate with this symbol. But there's it just write negative 8 power 4. This is only our x1 and x2 equals negative 3.5 and distance between them equals model x1 minus x2 because we don't have y-axis and answer is negative 8.4 minus negative 3.5 and it equals I think model negative 4.9 and answer is 4.9. Distance between them is 4.9. Let's continue with 22. Mhm. If the remainder of this number divided by 9 is m and the remainder of this divided by 10 is n. Okay, firstly multiply by, okay, the firstly dividing by 9 if the sum of the all value in numbers in there divided as 9, this number must be divided by 9. Okay, let's check. First is 7 plus 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 4 plus 7. It equals 10, 12, 16, 20, 27. And 27 is divided by 9 equals 3 and remainder is is 0. And that's why all this number must be divided by 9. And remainder is 0. Because this is a factor of this number. And if it divides by 9, this number can divide by 9 without remainder. And remainder equals 0. That's why m equals 0. Let's continue with the second one. Multiply by 4. When we divide this number by 10, the remainder in there is 2. And the remainder in there is 4. When we multiply 2 and 4, answer is 8. That's why uh, n equals 8. Sorry. n plus n equals 0 plus 8. 8. And when we divide it by 5, 8 divided by 5 equals 1, and the remainder equals 3. The final answer is 3. Let's continue with 23. I can write AB like that. 10A plus B. BC like that. 10B plus C. And CA like that. 10C plus A. When we sum all of them, it equals 11A plus 11B plus 11C equals 99. 11A plus B plus C equals 99. And if we simplify both sides by 11, A plus B plus C equals 9. And the arithmetic mean equals the sum of values divided by sum of values divided by number of values. Number of values. That's why mean equals there. 9 divided by 3 because sum of them is 9 and the number of values is 3 and the result equals 3. Let's continue with 24. I will write it in there. If they are parallel, firstly A, B, and C D parallel. That's why if this angle equals 110, this is also 110, and this angle also 110. And the sum of them, 110 plus 2x plus 10 equals 180. 120 plus 2x equals 180. 2x equals 60 and x equals 30. Answer is 30 in 24. Okay, let's continue with the last task, 25. Mhm. AC equals 10, BK equals find the area of ABCK. Okay, firstly, I want to remind that if I ask you find the area of ABC, you know that it equals AC multiplied by BD divided by 2 uh, equals ABC and area, the area ABC and area AKD equals AC multiplied by KD divided by 2. Okay. This is the all triangle and AKD is this part. It equals AC multiplied by KD divided by 2. That's why when we find area of ABC, area of ABCK, it equals BK multiplied by BK multiplied by AC divided by 2 and it equals 5 multiplied by 10 divided by 2. It equals 25. Because why I write both of them, it equals all area of ABC, but this only equals AKD, and when we subtract the area of AKD from the area of ABC, uh, we will find just AB key S. That's C. That's why it equals BK multiplied by AC divided by 2. And this is our final answer.